The concept of a mascot is ingrained in modern culture. They've grown from modest attempts of early marketing to semi-sentient beings who run their own Twitter accounts and say,
I hate corpo brand Twitter accounts with mascots. I find them so unintelligent and lowbrow.
vaguely mean things to other mascots at 2 a.m. The mascot is made to build trust and emotional attachment with audiences, I would assume. And although it might seem like a stupid and tough job, they are paid an unbelievable amount of money to do it. The highest paid mascots for pro sports make over $600,000 a year. Newsflash.
For sitting in a freaking suit? That's a furry's dream!
Bucko. That's a life-changing amount of money. Now, it doesn't even touch how much an actual player makes annually, but, you know, obviously these organizations have money to throw around, either be a star athlete or a guy in an eagle outfit. But today we're taking a trip into the oversized heads of mascots. Because frankly,
Look, I respect it because you have to do it no matter what the weather is, and it's hot in there, but $600K? Amen still as okay.
I think we're all a little too comfortable with this concept as a whole. Because, like, why is this child taking a photo with the Seattle Kraken mascot? You know, like, first of all, that mascot makes no sense. And also, that's just a dude in a costume. Why are we engaging with this? You know? Because this whole thing's weird. And I just want to talk about it. Fuck you. I don't have to tell you why I'm making a video. I run this ship. And I have the keys to the jet ski. And we're going right into a dam. Today, as a unit, we're used to the wild-eyed, mischievous mascots with vague animal connotations. But the very first mascot to ever exist was way less thought out. No, in its humble origins, the very first mascot to ever exist was, let me check my notes, a white guy. An old white man. Well, I don't think any of us were expecting that. The Quaker Oats Company created the Quaker Man in
Oh, yeah. Wait, they still use it to this day.
1877,
right.
and what I can only assume was an attempt to create a mascot as boring as their product. However, the Quaker Man was a cutting-edge invention, seeing as his existence predates the term mascot. He was in the game before the game had a name. Kind of like when you guys called me Rat Boy a bunch, and then they released that article saying that girls thought Rat Boys were hot. That's your bed, and I'm sleeping in it. The word mascot entered the American zeitgeist in 1880 by way of French opera called La Mascotte. I assume that's how you pronounce it. I refuse to learn French. Originally Mascotte, or whatever how you fucking say it, meant like Lucky Charm, when it was used in gambling slang, which itself is derived from another French slang term, masco, meaning witch. God damn it, I just learned French. And calling mascots witches is pretty fitting if you've ever seen the Providence College mascot.
What the hell is even...
What? Why? It's so eerie and weird. Imagine this thing walks up to you in the middle of the night.
Well, I don't know what that's supposed to be, and I will not believe anything else besides a child-eating witch. Initially, Americans used the term mascotte, or we're just gonna say mascot now, in the same way the French did. It was a good luck charm. Several newspapers in 1880 described young baseball fans and bat boys as mascots. And honestly, they were pretty loose with the word. They were getting weird with it. An 1884 article in the Cincinnati Enquirer even claimed that a goat who wandered into a baseball diamond was the team's mascot. So the bars.
Don't colleges for, like, you know, frat colleges with, like, you know, frat boys and, you know, sororities and stuff. I thought they have animals for mascots. I've never been to one. I'm just asking. A mascot animal? Is that like the same thing? Sometimes a goat, some do. Okay.
Pretty low there, I would say. Like you're a farmer who slept in because he drank too much the night before, and suddenly your livestock is a fucking baseball team mascot. Like, it seems like they're grabbing at straws. What is the Cincinnati team's name? Does Cincinnati even have a baseball team? Oh yeah, the Reds, right. Why are they called the Reds? Because they used to wear Red Sox. Oh my god, is that what the Red Sox are called, the Red Sox? Jesus Christ, people were so uncreative. In the late 19th and early 20th century, mascots remained the domain of animals and children. Until 1944, when Joe DiMaggio hit a home run during an exhibition baseball game in Hawaii. By the way, a decade and a change before it became a state. A pitcher, a Navy sailor named Max Pitkin, threw down his glove and followed DiMaggio as he rounded the bases, seemingly mocking him, and the fans went wild. I guess the Hawaiians in the mid-20th century enjoyed this type of mockery. Well, Max Pitkin knew a good thing when he saw one, and he became the first adult...
Dude, he does look kind of goofy, bro.
To the mascot. Just fully jumped ship into a new career path. During the course of his 5-decade career, he traveled across the country to perform his antics during minor league baseball games. Just doing
Dude, actually funny.
Wheels and being a fucking asshole to the applause of thousands. All told, he made over 4,000 appearances, and I think there's a good lesson there. If you don't want to go to work anymore, just show up someplace and be an asshole. Someone will eventually hand you some money.
That's what I do every day.
You ever notice how people are sucking on things lately?
You ever see that? At the bar, on the train, in the office, it's really a plague. It's usually just to beat boredom or to do something with your hands while you're dealing with anxiety, like biting your fingernails. But what if I
mean, you could play with your dick instead, too.
Told you there was a cool product that helped you satiate the oral fixation and the flavor centers of your big cool brain. Today we're talking about Fume, baby. Boom, delicious. Fume has created an award-winning flavored air device. But Tucker, I already got something like that, and it's super not healthy for me. Well, yeah, that's why I'm talking about Fume, you dummy, you big doofus. The design is sleek and weighted, so it can be used as a fidget toy when you're bored at work. They've got all these cool flavors like simple crisp mint, as well as more crazy ones like orange vanilla or bold black licorice. All of which taste great and do exactly what you would assume of them. No surprises in this cowboy's mouth. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be their next success story. For a limited time, use code
Chat, it's not a freaking vape, and it's not drugs, you fucking ding-dongs. It's flavored air. It's to stop you from... It's to wean you off of, smoking.
Big Tugg to get a free topper. It's the perfect accessory to the Fume device. You slip it on the top and it's like a little chewy and you can kind of nibble on it. I nibble on a lot of things. Just gives it a softer, warmer feel if you're also not into chewing things. Head to tryfume.com. That's TRYFUM.com and use code BIGTUGG or scan the QR code on the screen to get your free Fume topper whenever you order the Journey Pack today. Also, this part isn't in the script, but when you twist it, it makes this noise. And it's super satisfying. So fast forward a few decades, and baseball is still popular despite it being baseball. In 1963, the cover of New York Mets game program featured an illustration of a baseball player with a gigantic baseball head. For goofs, I suppose? And they called him Mr. Met. You know, a good
very original
way to drum up business is to create a living nightmare and put it on a piece of paper, right? And then in 1964, they just went hog wild and clamped down on the concept of this thing being the full team mascot. And let me tell you, Mr. Met changed the game because it was the first fully human costumed mascot, not this Max Pitkin shit where he's running around.
Well, that's smart because, like, you just incentivize little kids to, like, get invested into these sports games, and then they become lifelong fans, and they spend money to the tickets. Like, it's a smart investment. I get it.
We got an abomination of God in front of us. And then just a few years later, Mrs. Met would come along and shatter the mascot glass ceiling by having boobs.
Okay, that's horrifying. Please put it away.
Oops. And also by introducing the concept of Mrs. Met, it also created the canon lore that these two things fuck. They have wet, sloppy leather glove sex.
Nice.
So even though Mr. Met said,
yeah, that's good. Sloppy leather glove sex.
Set a new precedent for sports mascots. The San Diego Chicken made mascots what they are today. This is how I'm spending my life. Originally, the San Diego Chicken was just a college kid in a chicken suit doing week-long promotions for a local radio station in 1970.
That chicken looks zonked out of its mind. Is this the 60s and 70s? Because this looks cooked.
Which is hilarious to me because radio stations are historically not a visual medium. I don't know what he was doing there. But since the Chicken Man was a big fan of the San Diego Padres, he hatched an idea to get free tickets to the games. He walked up to the baseball stadium and said, "Give me free tickets and I will walk around entertaining your fans by acting like a chicken, I guess." I don't know. And it worked. They let him in. And what did I say about being an asshole? It's monetarily better.
I'm telling you, a lot of things that people used to do back then was so much easier because of the novelty. If you try to do that shit now, you get thrown out. It's not cute. You had to be there to get in early. Fuck boomers.
Beneficial. As the San Diego Chicken, he would wander the stands, and if someone said, "Lay one on me," he would lay a fake egg full of prizes from his leggings. I imagine that this was a wet activity. The first thing you'll notice about the San Diego Chicken, that he is yellow, orange, and blue. Nothing in nature looks like that, but between the time of Mr. Met and the San Diego Chicken, people in America started doing acid, so we were in a new ballpark of creativity, and that psychedelic mentality was on full display with the advent of the Philly.
He looks like a Dr. Seuss character or something off of Sesame Street. When did Sesame Street become a thing? Didn't they become a thing like in the 60s and 70s? He's an alien? Yeah, someone definitely did drugs and came up with this guy.
Fanatic. In the mid-70s, a Jim Henson employee was tasked with creating a new mascot for the Phillies. And now that I know that the Phillies Fanatic was a Jim Henson's creature, a lot of shit makes more sense. Honestly, I can't believe I never noticed that the Philly Fanatic was a Muppet. I mean, it's got all the telltale signs. Fuzzy features, googly eyes, and a weird fucking gimmick on its face. That's all. The Jim Henson's written all over it. The Fanatic was officially introduced in 1978 to the rapturous applause of everyone within miles of the Broken Bell. This green flightless bird has become somewhat of an icon of the area of Philadelphia, probably because the people who live in Philly can relate to this thing. You know? Have you ever met someone from Philly? They look like they would throw bricks, and so does this thing. And once the Philly fanatic was out of its cage, all hell broke loose in the world of mascots. Today it's weirder if your mascot even actually makes sense. And then there's the theme park mascots, like Mickey Mouse or Bugs Bunny at Six Flags for some fucking reason. I don't know why he's there. And there's not a lot I want to talk about with these. They're pretty, there's a reason they're there. It's not just people making shit up. But I just wanted to take a gander at the original Mickey Mouse costume.
Oh no, I've seen this chat. This is unironically like a horror costume. The original Mickey Mouse, it's scary. Don't look if you get scared, if you're easily scared.
Like the ones at the park. Editor, can you throw up a picture of that?
That is not friendly looking, man. That is horrifying. Look at it. It doesn't even have eyeballs cut out. It's just black darkness. What?
Horrific. No analog horror YouTube channel could even touch the feeling that looking...
Dude, imagine being a kid and seeing that shit. I'd piss my pants.
That these images gives me. But it's not just theme parks dropping somewhat threatening vibes throughout the use of mascots. When it comes to iconic costumed characters, there's a weird amount that comes from public service announcements. Study shows that marketing companies are 37% more effective when they use costumed characters. So it makes sense that the government would use this golden opportunity to use for propaganda.
Yeah, because people are stupid.
Look at the silly bear. Don't be a commie. Smokey the Bear came about in 1944 thanks to World War II. During the war, most U.S. forces were off fighting the Nazis, so they weren't, fixing up wildfires. And in order to prevent the fires that we were ill-equipped to fight, Smokey the Bear was born. Wait, no, it's Smokey Bear? It's not Smokey the Bear? What the fuck? That cannot be correct. Holy shit, it is.
That's like, what is it called? The Mandela effect?
I always thought it was Smokey the Bear. It's just Smokey Bear. Did I just get Mandela effect in real time? Well, despite that fucked up realization, he wasn't that effective because the Earth is burning at an alarming rate. But despite the lackluster results, the Ad Council claims that 95% of adults and 77% of children recognize Smokey Bear and his messaging. That still sounds wrong. And taking direct inspiration from Smokey, the Ad Council introduced McGruff the Crime Hound in 1980. In 1979...
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my god, that's old AF.
There were 549.5 crimes per 100,000 people. So naturally it was decided that what America needed to combat crime was a talking dog detective. McGruff was inspired by the hard...
I think Mascots definitely inspired furries. I know that furries came around in the 70s and 60s, I'm pretty sure.
Boiled detectives and novels by Raymond Chandler and Dashiell Hammett. In PSAs, he sulked around alleys and behind homes, giving tips on public safety. He's a cool dog. And to my extreme shock, these ads actually worked. They worked shockingly well. A year after McGruff debuted, research showed an increase in the use of his security tips. And while I do respect the attempt of authorities to entice me with the use of a bloodhound in a trench coat, these silly antics won't change the omnipresent fact that Big Tugg and the Tugglets don't talk to cops. Oink oink piggy. Fast food restaurants also have a long history
don't talk to pigs.
of using iconic characters as mascots, none more famous than the Burger Clown. This cheeseburger flinging clown was first introduced in 1963, looking less like the mascot we know today, and more like one of those 4 horsemen of the apocalypse the Bible's always talking about. And in the
it looks like an uncle that dressed up for like their kid or their brother's kid to like do a performance. It looks scary.
During decades, Ronald McDonald has not only become the most popular fast food mascot, but like one of the most popular things on earth. Surveys show...
Fun fact, when I was a little kid, I did not like Ronald McDonald. I didn't like him. I just thought he wasn't like a good character. I always thought he was like a secret bad guy. I didn't like him. Yeah, I don't know.
He's only second to Santa Claus and the most, widely known characters across this earth. Editor, roll the clip of a child not knowing who Jesus is, but knowing who Ronald McDonald is. Go, play it.
Who's that?
Don't know.
Who's that?
McDonald.
Yep, propaganda at work right there.
Wow. What a horrible hell we live in. Despite dietitians asking for McDonald's to retire Ronald due to childhood obesity and a string of creepy clown sightings that spread
Yeah, I'm shitting my pants.
Across America in 2016, Ronald McDonald remains one of the all-time most iconic mascots. Although they do use him in less and less promotional materials nowadays, I just don't really understand how a clown is supposed to make me hungry for hamburgers. Clowns make me hungry for nothing. Clowns make me want to puke, so I don't know how that was ever a good idea. Or how about cereal mascots? We haven't touched on those yet. Cereal is consistently the second most advertised product to children aged 2 to 11, trailing only...
Yeah, and they all have insane amounts of sugar, chat. We learned about this last time, too. We watched a video on cereal and breakfast. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I want the Pikachu cereal. Yeah, it's got Pokemon on it. It must be healthy, right?
Fast food. What? Tucker rehashing old videos to make more videos and more profit? What? Of course, children aren't getting, objective breakdowns of the benefits of eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Instead, they're inundated by flashy ads featuring colorful mascots. Take the 1963 creation of Captain Crunch. His full name, and I'm not joking, is Horatio Magellan Crunch. I don't know who decided this guy needed lore, but I'm not complaining. He was born on Crunch Island in the Sea of Milk.
I think if corporates took VTubers and put them on cereal, they would probably sell a lot more. Yeah, like rebrand them to be cereal and then have them streams and get them hooked on stream. So when they grow up and, they grow up and then they're hooked into directly into Hollow Live. And then that's like a generational addiction, I'm telling you, it could definitely be a thing in 20 years.
A place with talking trees and Mount Crushmore, a whole mountain made out of Captain Crunch cereal. So in the Captain Crunch universe, it's rocks. You're eating rocks when you eat a bowl of Captain Crunch. Just thought that was interesting. And to promote their new cereal and mascot, General Mills asked the animator of Rocky and Bullwinkle to create a show commercials for Captain Crunch. As a result, Captain Crunch became a wild success. Who knew ranked members?
Well, that's also the fact that people used to watch TV all the time. You can't really replicate that now. You really can't. Everybody watched Sunday cartoons. Everybody watches YouTube and podcasts. That's essentially it.
Of the military could sell sugary grains to children with haste. The Captain isn't the only cereal mascot with a long history. Snap, Crackle, and Pop were first introduced in the 30s. They were there to sell Rice Krispies, and to be honest, I don't know their vibe. I can't tell if they're supposed to be human or not. Are they elves? Are they gnomes? Are they related? Is it 3 brothers or a father and 2 sons? And then Tony the Tiger came along for Frosted Flakes in the 50s, and I talked about Tony the Tiger. He has a weird amount of sex appeal. You people are horny.
I could be a Frosted Flakes mascot. However, I don't like Frosted Flakes. That's a fun fact for you, Chad. I don't like Frosted Flakes. I think they're too sugary and gross. Yeah, when they get soggy, they taste like shit. Yep. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, they're too sugary. Sorry. Don't like them.
Form. I'm not, but it's just fucking weird. But cereal mascots are not just designed to reach kids through the commercials. This is where it gets weird. A Cornell University study found that they're placed on cereal boxes so that they make direct eye contact with children. Isn't that horrible?
Wait, that's actually... That is so subtle, low-key, but it's kind of scary how that works. Yes, I like the one that's looking at me. I don't want to buy the one that's not looking at me. It's not appealing. Yeah, those little kids, they want the one that's looking at them.
The study also found that direct eye contact from mascots makes consumers 16% more likely to trust the brand. Once again, I don't want to touch on the topic of sex appeal, but Jesus Christ. And then,
oh my god, the Frosted Flakes Tony the Tiger Twitter thing. We already watched that video a long time ago, but it's just such a good video. I think Internet Historian made a video about it.
And the next category it's just one mascot in his own category, and that's Joe Camel. And I love Joe Camel. I think he's a cool mascot. Yeah.
You just did a fucking ad for Fume, but you love Joe the Camel that sells cigarettes? Big Tugg is Big Corpa.
Yes, technically it was kind of, a marketing cigarettes to children, which wasn't sick, but that's fucking cool. That's a cool dude. I don't even smoke cigarettes, but I want a Joe Camel leather jacket. Fuck, that guy was cool. So in 2005, Mascot Hall of Fame was created by a fella named David Raymond, the first man to play the Philly Fanatic. And I hate that. I hate that there's a Hall of Fame for mascots when there should be absolutely the opposite. Today, I'm going to unveil Big Tugg's Mascot Hall of Shame. And these are the mascots that I think deserve more hate and should be killed in their lore, not the people who play them, maybe. Up first, we have the Utah Jazz Bear, a shitty
He looks like a little guy from the Star Wars. What, an Ewok? Or Chewbacca? Yeah, a Wookiee? He looks like an Ewok, bro.
concept come to life. If there's one thing I think about when I think of jazz, it certainly isn't Utah. Utah is like if the town from Footloose became an entire state. Come to think of it, when I think of jazz, I don't think of a bear either. So what's going on with the Utah Jazz Bear? It's a logistic improbability and it makes no sense. And for what it's worth, jazz is a fine media of music, but it's never made me feel like this. Never made me feel this jazzed up. Oh, maybe that's why it is. And also, historically, there's very little black people in Utah. And I'm not saying you have to be black to enjoy a basketball team named the Utah Jazz, but you know, I feel like there should be a, it
that
seems like
racist.
you're stealing another.
You're just assuming black people like jazz? Cuff 'em, boys.
Thing. Next up, we have Gritty, something I fundamentally don't agree with. First of all, what the fuck is a Gritty? Exactly. Tell me. He looks like a Sesame Street character that one of the Jim Henson employees made on an accident. He accidentally did it. Then a witch came to the event and it cursed the thing and it came to life. Also, Philadelphia, slow the fuck down. Who hurt you? Between Gritty, the Philly fanatic, and hip hop, a muscle-bound rabbit in a do-rag who used to throw down slam dunks at halftime of 76.
Yo, this is a good one.
Games. All your mascots are just vile slaps in the face of God. But the main problem I have with Gritty is the fact that he has been shoved down our throats since day one. I understand that most mascots are legitimately living PR stunts, but I should not be this familiar with the mascot of the Philly Flyer.
Well, he's relatable. He's got like a very pear-shaped body.
The Bruins, the only sports team I give a fuck about. I don't know our mascot. I assume it's a bear. I think more people know about Gritty than the actual Philadelphia Flyers, which is the exact point I'm trying to make. It's a fucked up weird.
Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah, actually, you know what? I've never heard of the Philadelphia Flyers. Put a gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's hockey? Yeah, well, I mean, okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, that's why nobody knows about them.
Weird thing that's going on. And then we have all the goddamn racist mascots. And here come the woke police, but like, some of these are really fucked up. There's a limit how much fun you can have by using an entire race for your mascot. Like the Chicago Blackhawks, they do that respectfully. These ones, not at all. In 2024, we know that using an entire race of people as a mascot is not kosher. And while most high-profile sports teams have eradicated these long traditions of using people as mascots, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Atlanta Braves, and the Florida State Seminoles retain their offensive mascots and imagery, while their fans perform the offensive tomahawk chop at their games. Oh! Oh! That made me feel awful just doing it. Now, obviously, I'm not an American, which means my opinion on this is not even close. It doesn't even.
I don't know. I don't engage in football, baseball, all that shit. I don't know.
Matter. If you're not an American, it doesn't matter what your opinion on this is. That being said, it doesn't feel good to be around it. Have you ever been in one of those games and all the white people start doing this and they're wearing headdresses and shit? You want to not be photographed. Even more damning, there's about 2,000 American high schools that still use Native Americans as mascots. I mean, for fuck's sake, my alma mater, St. John's.
How don't you know you're hockey, you're Russian? You fucking stupid bitch. I didn't live there, nor do I engage in that stuff because just because you're Russian doesn't mean you have to like sports and watch hockey and drink vodka. Ya weirdo!
In Shrewsbury, it uses their mascot's the Pioneer, and that's fine without context, but this is the picture of it. It's a dude with a fucking gun. And if you know anything about...
I mean, the mascot with a gun. I mean, that's like a VTuber with a gun. I'd be like, damn.
The Pioneers and the Native Americans, that gun's gonna be used not for, shooting a chicken. So all around, just not a good look. I don't know why the new Americans are so hell-bent on making Native Americans mascots. It's just...
Give me a VTuber with a gun, I'd watch it.
It makes me feel bad. And it wouldn't be a Big Tugg video without talking about the Cold War. Here comes the Cold War, everybody. Haha, I can't stop. So you know the Cincinnati Reds? I talked about them earlier because of their stupid fucking name. Well, during the Red Scare, Sox, when America was really afraid of communism, the Cincinnati Reds went through a little bit of a rebrand. They didn't want their baseball team to remind anyone of a potential nuclear fallout, so from 1953 to 1959, they changed their name to the Redlegs. This is once again a reference to the Red Sox that they wear, which once again there's a team already called the Reds.
Oh no, communism in my baseball!
So why are you guys being so fucking stupid? But this switch eventually led to a new mascot called Mr. Red. Isn't that what you're trying to avoid? You fucked up.
And you have a C on top too? C for commie, yeah, up
so badly. You guys can't do anything right, Cincinnati. You have a terrible playing card company, you make terrible chili, and your mascots are fucking exactly the opposite of what you're trying to do. Moving down the list of the worst mascots, let's talk about the Noid. In 1986, Domino's Pizza introduced a claymation mascot called the Noid, and this is what he looked like, and you should be upset by that. He was a weird blend of a rabbit and a man and a pizza enthusiast.
Ew, why did it make him so ugly? And short?
And none of those things have to do with Domino's Pizza.
He's got like a tiny tiny little torso and long arms and legs.
It was created to promote Domino's promise of delivering pizza within 30 minutes or less. And I know this seems weird, but what you have to understand is in the 80s, everyone was doing cocaine. Okay, so there was a lot of fast ideas coming at you. And this ad campaign was weirdly an immediate hit for everybody, except for one fella, a 22-year-old individual.
You have to be on cocaine to, like, think that this was a good idea. Unironically.
Named Kenneth Lamar Noyd. He was convinced in his not-so-good brain that the Domino's made that mascot specifically to intimidate him and make fun of him. And then in 1989, he took 2 Domino's employees hostage while he ate an entire pizza. He eventually...
Everybody did cocaine in the 1980s, chat. Everybody.
He luckily released the 2 people after he finished his pizza, and Kenneth was found not guilty for the reason of insanity. And Domino's was like, that was crazy, but let's keep using the Noyd, and they did until 1989, when Kenneth
They kept using it!
Noyd, still convinced the Domino's mascot was designed to mock him, took his own life. I gotta talk about another mascot.
I mean, you know, shit happens.
Mascot, because that's a super sad ending. Then we...
I'm not saying he's right, but I'm saying that I understand. You know someone's mentally ill enough to have a VTuber out there that was made, and then they think that that VTuber was made to mock them. Can you imagine? I don't want anybody to get hurt. It's just like that would be kind of pretty funny.
We have Lefty, this guy, the guy on the Hamburger Helper, which I fucking hate this dude so much. Kids from the 80s and 90s are really going to remember this.
When I was really broke, I ate Hamburger Helper with like a little bit of like, you know, you mix it in, right? To make to make the mincemeat look good. I ate that for 3 days in a row because I didn't have any money. I hate Hamburger Helper now. It's actually disgusting. Like, I know, like, you can make better food. It's like, no, I just didn't know how to cook yet. No, I didn't know how to cook very well, and I had Hamburger Helper and pasta. I hate Hamburger Helper now. I don't think we have that in Australia. It's basically, like, just, like, mixing of, like, cornstarch and, like, flavorings. Yeah, it's not very good. It helps in a pinch. It's just, like, it doesn't taste great. Yeah.
Thing as the terrifying mascot of Hamburger Helper. Introduced in 1977, Lefty is proof that there is a god and he has left us. He's a 4-fingered gloved hand who wears the clown nose and haunts the kitchen of tired parents.
This is terrifying. Like, the Pillsbury dough guy is, like, cute and, like, looks like a human. This is a hand.
Encouraging them to shovel beef and prepackaged noodles into their kids' mouths for dinner. I personally actually like Hamburger Helper, even though it's a lot of sodium, but that's just because I'm a white...
No, you know the pain of eating a lot of Hamburger Helper. I don't like it.
Piece of gutter trash, so opinions may vary. Regardless, Lefty is way less terrifying today as he was back when he started, but when I was doing research for this video, I found out he's also been recently dropping bars. He's been rapping Super Hot Flames. In 2016,
Why?
Lefty released a hip-hop mixtape called Watch...
I hate corpos. This is so cringe. Watch the stove under the alias Helper through SoundCloud. Feed the streets, Hamburger Helper, crazy food for the soul. Nuh-uh. Do not compare Hamburger Helper to soul food. That shit is ass.
The stove.
I've been chefing. Mix it with my left hand. Water whipping and I'm stirring.
Which in my estimation is the furthest thing away from...
Oh my god, that is so bad.
From Hamburger Helper I could ever imagine.
So
but it's also the true problem with the modern mascot. Through social media and branding, they have like blended themselves into normal human life, which is not what these things should be. As children, we were constantly bombarded by these colorful mascots and fun imagery to make us feel happy and safe, creating real relationships with these brands that fuel us with nostalgia.
Wait, was that the Linux mascot? Why did they put him in here? Linux didn't do anything. Why is it getting catching strays? This little penguin, what's his name?
Happy and safe, creating real relationships with these brands that fuel us with nostalgia. And now it's like, oh, the frog from the Honey Smacks is dating the Lucky Charms guy, and they're gonna have a wedding on the Instagram Live. I don't want any of that. Also, why the fuck does the Hamburger Helper dude only have 4 fingers? I get that, like, people, when they do animations, they only do 4 fingers because it's easy, but this is supposed to be like the glove I use to make Hamburger Helper. It's supposed to be like the oven mitt. So whose glove is this supposed to be? It's a fucking stupid idea. So there you have it. Mascots. Most of them are terrible. All of them, almost. Thank you for watching. I hope I educated you, I guess. And I'd just like to scream into the void on this camera. New videos every Saturday and Wednesday. Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe. Anything else? No, that's it. I'm gonna find. Brittany's gonna find out where I live. That's. I don't. I just wrote that at the end of the script. And thank you to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Head to tryfume.com and use code BigTug when you order the Journey Pack for a free topper today.
That was horrible. You just reminded me of all the nasty ass shit that we used to think was like cool and funny. Fucking Mickey Mouse is horrifying. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the Noid story at the end, bro. This VTuber mascot was made to mock me. I'm gonna eat pizza and then blow myself up. Chat, check him out. Big Tugg, very funny, very goofy and stupid.